Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite political satire show, With the Facts. I'm your host, Jack Kessler.
And I'm Thomas Kohler. Let's get to it. You may have heard of the Cuomo sexual scandal currently gripping the state of New York, but are you aware of Gaetz? If not, we're here to fill you in. Florida representative and man trying to impersonate Brett Kavanaugh and Aaron Trupp at the same time, Matt Gaetz, has recently come under investigation for violating federal sex trafficking laws. Allegedly, but most definitely at this point, Gaetz was in a relationship with a 17-year-old girl whom he was attempting to pay to come with him on a trip. The trip was likely to the Bahamas, but I'm willing to bet that Gaetz was on his way to a certain island owned by a certain financier who most certainly did not kill himself.
Toasty! While this scandal may not seem much compared to New York's own flirtatious, nipple-ringed sexagenarian, the investigation into Gaetz has seemingly opened up a Pandora's box of controversy. Gaetz was associated with Joel Greenberg, a former tax collector who was indicted on child trafficking. Reportedly, Gaetz and Greenberg would procure women for each other to share, according to authorities.
Seeing as how he's up shit creek without a paddle, Joel Greenberg pled guilty to 33 charges of financial and sex crimes and will likely testify in court against Gaetz, his former wingman, broham, and menage a trois bras. Now, if you think this is getting too creepy, which it is, don't worry, because it's about to get really stupid.
The New York Times obtained receipts from the women Gaetz and Greenberg solicited for their nights of ecstasy-fueled douchebag debauchery because they paid for it through cash apps like Apple Pay and Venmo. Instead of a paper trail, they left a digital trail. The allegations and reports of Gaetz' sexual depravity keep growing with each passing day, dating all the way back to his time in the state legislature. To say that he couldn't keep it in his pants is almost too subtle at this point.
Other reports also claim that Gaetz had approached former President Trump seeking a blanket pardon, which White House lawyers denied him. In his recently published book that I bet has several pages stuck together, Gaetz boasted about how he had a close relationship with the president and would often have phone calls with him whilst on the toilet, at the strip club, and even, and these are his own words, during the throes of passion. As unsavory as that sounds, a call from any president would definitely kill the mood.
Rather than call for his resignation, most Republicans, like the Women for America First, have fervently come to the representative's defense, calling him a, quote, true leader in D.C. However, some Republicans are hesitant to jump on the Gaetz train, given how sticky the seats are. One of those hesitant critics is none other than the whitest man to ever live, Tucker Carlson, who had a very uncomfortable interview with the representative on his show and stated it was the, quote, weirdest interview he's ever conducted. Think about that for a minute. Matt Gaetz is too weird for Tucker Carlson.
But as bad as all this sounds, the worst part of it all is that we can't come up with a clever phrase for all of this drama. Gaetz Gate just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily as Cuomo sexual.
Well, that's this week's episode of With the Facts. I'm Jack Kessler.
And I'm Thomas Kohler. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.